Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Wednesday, the 5th of July, 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. As predicted, the Albanian Parliament is set to convene in an extraordinary session for the swearing-in ceremony of the country's President-elect Ilir Meta. Assembly Speaker Ilir Meta has signed the order for the gathering of a special plenary session on July 24 at 6 p.m. The news for the special session was announced by the Assembly of Albania, saying that Parliament Speaker Ilir Meta, in accordance with Article 74, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution and Article 42 of the Assembly's Rules of Procedure, has called for an extraordinary session of Parliament on July 24, 2017 at 6 p.m. Parliament will have only one point on its agenda, the swearing-in of the President-elect Ilir Meta. The former chairman of the Socialist Movement for Integration, Ilir Meta, was elected as President of Albania by members of Parliament on April 28, with 87 votes in favour out of 89 MPs who were present in the session. Opposition members did not participate in the voting for the new president, as at that time the opposition was protesting from the tent outside the Prime Minister's office and had boycotted Parliament. Interestingly, relations between the Socialist Movement for Integration and the Socialist Party have changed since April 28, with both parties speaking out against each other during the electoral campaign. Both parties laid blame on each other for the shortcomings during their shared governance in the past 4 years. Today, the Democratic Party chairman, Lulzim Basha, received a high-level delegation from the OSCE ODIHR election observation mission, headed by Ambassador Peter Taylor. During his meeting with Ambassador Taylor, Mr. Basha highlighted that the June 25 electoral process did not fix problems with elections, but on the contrary, they deepened further. According to Basha, cases of massive vote buying were reported from all over the country in a systematically organised operation, both in urban and rural areas. Basha went on claiming that in addition to vote buying by the party structures of the ruling socialists and other parties in the governing coalition, organised crime groups were involved in the process. To alter the constituents' will, a large number of people were included in the list of beneficiaries of economic aid in exchange of their vote, along with the massive employment of people in public administration and state-owned entities. Dirty money generated from the cultivation and trafficking of narcotics played a crucial role in the massive scale of vote buying by criminal gangs with links to government support, Basha stated, adding that the June 25 parliamentary elections were a triumph of unlawfulness. Mr. Basha emphasised that the Democratic Party had a program and did not get involved in the vote buying phenomenon. Vice Chairman of the Democratic Party, Edmund Spaho, and Democratic MP Bulukbashi were also present at the meeting. They raised concerns over concrete cases of vote buying in Elbasan and Durrës, where state police did not take any action. The Democratic Party chairman declared that a realistic stance to the serious problems in the electoral process, especially from the OSCE ODIHR, would help Albania and the Albanian people to separate from the regime that supports crime, drugs and corruption. The Socialist Movement for Integration is expected to gather its national convention at 6:45 p.m. this evening. The new party chairman is expected to be elected after the resignation of Petrit Vasili following elections. Sources within the Socialist Movement for Integration say that a new vice chairman, who will receive the party delegates from all over Albania, will also be elected. Monica Kruemadi, the vice chairwoman, has been proposed to substitute Petrit Vasili as chairperson of the party. A new vice chairman will need to be elected, as the position will be vacant as a result of the appointment of Kruemadi as chairperson. Petrit Vasili was elected as the Socialist Movement for Integration's chairman on May 3rd of this year. However, he resigned a few days ago following the election result. In his resignation speech, Vasili declared that the party needs new energy in order to be a real opposition in Albanian parliament. Recently, Tirana has been suffering from an absence of drinking water. The difficult situation is being handled by Tirana's water company and by City Hall. 30 water tank trucks are transporting water to fill water deposits in apartment buildings every day. An Aura News journalist followed the daily routine and visited the Uzbekistan area, which is considered to be the most problematic area regarding scarcity of drinking water. The operational director of Tirana's water company told the journalist that the situation is under control. "We operate based on the requests. We are in readiness 24 hours. We distribute 25 to 30 water tank trucks depending on the requests coming from administrators of apartment buildings. We have help available at any hour," he said, adding that the quality of water in the water tank trucks is controlled as it is taken directly from the stations of the water company. The administrators of apartment buildings have taken on a special role in coping with the situation. They must inform the water company and ask for its intervention when water remains unavailable for several hours. To further help combat the problem, the task force set up by the City Hall continues to disrupt illegal water connections. Today, the Task Force for Drinking Water has disrupted 151 illegal connections and has fined 28 people for misusing water. Illegal water connections, people use illegal water connections for irrigation and to wash vehicles. Recently, the Mayor has been calling on citizens to save water, not to misuse it, as different areas are suffering from shortages. The recent increases in temperatures have significantly raised the risk of fires developing across the country, especially in parks and forests. The civil emergency structures state that they remain committed to coping with the situation. Tirana's firefighting service is in readiness to face the emergencies. The director of the firefighting service in Tirana told an Aura News journalist that the service is currently working with double staff and that the service stations are prepared. Though the firefighting service is operating at doubled staffing levels, the director continued his calls to local authorities and administrators to organise volunteer forces to help should a situation arise. The director says that the areas most at risk from fires are parks and forests due to high temperatures and dry combustible materials. The firefighting service is trying to cover all areas, including suburban ones. The director of the service calls on citizens to call the emergency service if they see any signs of fire. The Albanian Red Cross is expected to increase the number of volunteers starting from today, as it has changed the system of registration. Red Cross volunteers can now register as members through a new system. The president of the Albanian Red Cross said that the new system will increase the quality of preserving online data of the association. If we had registers to keep the data of all volunteers, we would not search for minutes, hours, or even days to find the data we need. Through use of the new database, we can take data in real time. We can better manage the situation, and in this way, we will be more effective, the director of the Albanian Red Cross declared. The new database for the registration of members has been made available by the Canadian Institute of Technology. The new system is expected to enhance transparency and facilitate the preservation of data for the Albanian Red Cross. Tirana's Mayor, Erion Velia, inaugurated the reconstructed area at the block of buildings at Bayram Suri Boulevard. Using irony against the former mayor, Lulzim Basha, current mayor Veliaj had this to say: "After 4 years of sleeping, I think we all understand that Tirana does not function that way. Tirana only functions by work, hope, optimism, and by solving a problem every day. Children of this area did not have a space where to play. Now they have it thanks to the City Hall workers," declared the mayor, promising the citizens that he will reconstruct 50 areas at residential blocks. "We will rehabilitate 50 residential blocks every year. Tirana has so many of them which need to be fixed by working every day. This is how we progress. We only waste time by speaking badly against each other," added the mayor. That's all for our English edition this evening. My name is Alexandra. Please join me again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. On behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.